Hi everyone, and welcome to my video on the first week of placement and the first week of placement during Covid-19. I'm on a graduate entry medicine programme, so although this is the third year, this is year 3 out of 4, and it's our first full clinical year, but we have had a few placements before this, although only 2 because the third one was cancelled due to Covid in the summer. I touch on the course a little bit later, but I hope you enjoy this vlog on what the first week of placement is like and what placement is like in light of Covid-19. First day of placement of third year, and we've just driven to the GP practice. We've just finished our morning of clinic and it's been really nice to see patients. We haven't done any clinical things since March, since the pandemic. This morning beforehand we had induction where we've got a really specific timetable with loads of stuff in, so I'm really looking forward to this placement. Got this funky new lanyard as well, and now we're going to have a lunch break. I'm going to eat my soup and hopefully see some more patients afterwards. I'm going to dip into my soup for lunch now. I've just got home from the GP practice and it's about 6 o'clock. I think we got to leave at around 4:45. Luckily actually at this GP practice we're starting only at 9:30 every day, so we can have a bit of a lie-in beforehand, or rather revise for our exam, which is in a few months, which we should probably do instead. But yeah, today was really good. It was so nice to see patients again and get into the swing of things, and yeah, great day. Look forward to the rest of the week and the rest of the placement. My friends invited another friend and I round for cocktails tonight, so I can't wait to go round and de-stress and chat about what we've done today, and see how their experience was. I think they're on surgery, so that'll be interesting to hear about. Yeah, so good day all in all, and I'll keep you updated. It's Wednesday now and it's about 8:45, so we're about to head off to GP practice. This morning we're going to be shown how to use the computer systems, which should be good. Then we can probably start putting in our notes from when we take patient consultations. And in the afternoon we're going to be in a long-acting reversible contraceptive or LARC clinic. So yeah, looking forward to the day ahead. We managed to get home from placement a bit early today. I'm now at home with a cup of chamomile tea. I think I'm going to do a small workout just before dinner, and I think my flatmates have suggested to get a Thai curry, which I'm really looking forward to after our second day of placement as a little reward. Yeah, hopefully a nice relaxing evening. Outside and was going to do a 15-minute skip, but it turns out it's raining a lot, which I couldn't see from my window, so I'm going to have to do a small indoor workout instead. It's now the evening. Although we've had quite a relaxed day, it's all been quite tiring, just coming back to university and readjusting and having placement all of a sudden after 6 months of not doing as much as usual. So yeah, I'm just having the evening to catch up on some admin I've got to do and rest up ready for tomorrow. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how it's been with COVID as well so far. Obviously we've only had 2 days, but the GP practices, or the one I'm in at least, is doing a triage system where the reception will triage the patients in terms of do they need to speak to a GP or do they need something that reception can deal with, for example. And then these patients are put on a list that the GPs then call, and the GPs then triage whether they need to come in or whether it's something they can sort out over the phone. Once the patients come in, full PPE has to be worn, not the PPE you see on TV for ITU, but we wear a mask, gloves and gown and try to maintain distance from the patient as much as possible. Obviously if we need to examine them that's a little bit different, but there's not been any COVID outbreaks in our GP practice so far, so obviously the measures are working, which is quite reassuring for us and helps us move forward in looking after the patients without as much worry. So yeah, it's not been too bad. There's not been any student social events, obviously because of COVID. Our year group hasn't met up very much yet, but I do know the first years have had a few social events, although in much smaller numbers within the regulations. In the morning we're going to be doing GP clinic again, and we're going to see patients all morning, and in the afternoon I think we've got a tutorial with 2 other GP practices. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Just got back from placement this morning. We were taking histories from patients and doing triaging on the phone, and then in the afternoon we had a tutorial where we got to practice OSCE based history taking. It was really good to scrape the rust off because we've not taken histories in quite a long time due to COVID, but it was a good introduction. Tomorrow morning we're going to be properly taking histories and using the IT system ourselves, so that hopefully next week we'll be able to run clinics ourselves in the GP practice. So yeah, it's exciting to be starting to get given slightly more responsibility in running our own clinics and seeing patients ourselves. So it's time to buckle up and really get going. It's the end of another day, another good day. I haven't got around to doing much studying this week because it's been move-in week and I still haven't quite unpacked all my things as I've been so busy. So I've just sat down to do a few questions from an online question bank, and the way I do that is I go through the questions and then put like key points and notes through into my Anki decks. I find that quite useful because I can often shorten the key points down so they just fit into like quite a quick flashcard, and it means I can go through the flashcards quite quickly at a later date. So that's what I'm going to do now for a bit, and then I'm going to head off to bed to rest up for tomorrow. I might have 1 or 2 of these biscuits as a snack. They're really cool actually. I was given them as a gift. Let me show you what's inside. I was actually given a gingerbread doctor as well, which was really cute, and yeah, I've already eaten that, but I'll show you what's inside. Yeah, there's just like loads of little medical biscuits. They're really cute and they're really delicious. As you can see, there's one missing that had a little taster. Film that much today because we were super busy running our clinics this morning, seeing our own patients and things. It was really great to be able to do that and to be kind of running the whole thing on our own, though the GP was obviously there to look after us and help us with management because we're not so sharp on that yet. I think we've often got an idea of what we'd like to give the patients, but we often need a bit of guidance in terms of what they can or can't have, or why something may or may not be a better option. So yeah, we're still learning, but it sounds like this placement is going to be really good as we're going to be given slightly more leading roles in patient management. So yeah, it's really good. We're really lucky at uni to have clinical experience so early. So although this is the first week of placement of third year, of which third year is the first clinical year for us, actually we have had clinical experience before. It's a 4-year degree. So we're just over halfway, and in first year you've got a 5-week placement, and in second year you've got 2 5-week placements, and on top of that we've got a good handful of GP days in first and second year too. So this isn't our first ever clinical placement, although it does feel refreshing and new again, having not done much for 6 months due to COVID in terms of learning within medical school, other than Zoom lectures of course. So as you might have gathered from what I've explained so far about this week's first week of placement, that we're going to start to be given a little bit more responsibility as we're now third years. I think part of the plan for the rest of this placement is that we're going to be running not only our own clinics with in normal patient consultations in the GP practice, but we're going to be doing our own little clinics in terms of injection clinics and things like that. So it sounds like we're going to see a really good variety of things, and that this first week was a really good flavour and introduction of what's to come. in terms of COVID in the GP practice, everything is managed really, really well, as I explained before, with PPE and strict cleaning measures and things like that. But everyone's kind of interested to see how that's going to change in the coming weeks. Schools have literally just opened this week, and everything's starting to open up a little bit more. So people are kind of anxious to see how that's going to change and what's to come. Some people are predicting that we're kind of in the best period right now in terms of cases being quite low, but that in a few weeks it might be quite a different picture, and we might be seeing slightly more different cases at the GP surgery in terms of more possible COVID cases. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes, and hopefully not too many. Hopefully people are still sticking to their social distancing and good hand washing and wearing a mask, etc. But yeah, we'll see what's to come. All in all, it's been a really, really great week of placement, and I've really enjoyed coming back to uni and seeing my friends within my bubble, and it's just been really nice to kind of come back to normality as far as possible. Still got a bit of unpacking to do, and I'm not quite into the swing of things studying wise, which is going to start on Monday, but yeah, we're almost there. Yeah, after this placement I start on care of the elderly in one of my local hospitals. I'm really, really keen to get back into the hospital. That's going to be another placement similar to the 5-week blocks we've had before, where you can be kind of placed on anything across all specialties, you know, whether surgical, whether GP, or whether out in the community, you know, on psychiatry, for example. And then after that, we've got a few learning weeks, just a couple for, you know, catching up on extra theory we might need to learn about. And after that, the rest of the year is essentially just rotating through the different core placement areas that you need to do as part of the medical degree. Yeah, so I'm super excited for a year of placement ahead, and preparing for exams towards the end of the year. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for a year of placement ahead. I hope showing you guys the first week of placement back in third year in light of COVID has been useful, insightful, or inspired any of you to look into a career in medicine and what life as a medical student is like. I'm going to sign off now, but I'll be back to show you a bit about my first week in the hospital for placement in my next vlog. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay tuned for more. See you next time.